Good afternoon, Pokesports. It's your host, Mike, and I play with two Pokemon on the field. Look at this. We're back. I'm here. Isn't that something? Kevin is off getting his teethies removed, so his face is the size of a small watermelon. So instead, I'm here to go and commentate his battle in the Malamar Games. Now, of course, if you don't remember the Malamar Games or you didn't catch the last episode, please do make sure you go and hit up the card up at the top right, or I'll tell you about it right now. The Malamar Games is a series where the format changes every single week. Now, today's format is Series 1++, which means, according to Bruno here, who went and created the thing, regular game plus DLC is allowed, but no Paradox, Legendaries, or Restricteds. So we're not seeing those pesky things like Fluttermane. We're not seeing those pesky things like, I don't know why my mind wants to say Iron Moth, but I'll just say it, Iron Moth. Not going to see that here. Nor are you going to see things like Lugia. Why? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, you're not seeing Restricteds. You're not seeing Paradox Pokemon. No Legendaries either. Now, for this one, it's a monotype battle. So each player is given one monotype Pokemon, or one type. And they have to build their team around that type. You can have a secondary typing that's different, but all of those Pokemon have to have the one type. And as you can see by this group of Pokemon here, Kevin actually is coming in with all normal types. So with the Oranguru, the Mousehold, the Snorlax, the Ursaluna Blood Moon, the Blursaluna as he calls it, the Indeedee Female, and the Staraptor, all of them have the common factor of being normal types. But you see that the Oranguru has Psychic type, you see that the Ursaluna has the Ground type, the Psychic type, the Flying type, all across the board there. Now Sableye is actually going to be coming in with a different type of mono typing. And I believe his is actually Ghost. So we're going to be seeing a very fun match between normal and Ghost. Now, what do you think about that, right? Both of those are typings that can't exactly hit each other, but that's where that secondary typing comes in. You can still hit same type attack bonus on, the opposing Pokemon just by virtue of the fact that, you have that other typing to lean on. But I like how these two types kind of negate each other. Makes for a very, very interesting series of games. Now, of course, looking at these teams here, we talked about Kevin's. Let's talk about Sableye's. We've got Ceruledge, Goldengo, Dragapult, Mimikyu, Annihilate, and Sinistcha going in here. Now, the question is, what are the leads going to be? You have to throw yourself right back to the beginning, basically, of Scarlet and Violet. And even then, there are certain Pokemon like the Blood Moon or Saluna who just wasn't there back at that time. So what is Kevin going to be bringing in? Right now, it looks like he's going to be bringing in the Snorlax and the Mousehold. But looking at that, my question is, what can that kind of a lead actually do here? What can the Snorlax actually do against this team? But it looks like he's bringing it anyway. So he's going to be leading with an Oranguru and the Mousehold. Very interesting here. Oranguru we used to see a lot more than we do now. Back when the Trick Room shenanigans of Scarlet and Violet were just starting out, right? You were seeing a lot of Orangurus being used. You see a lot of Instruct being used. You see a lot of Trick Room, Encore, that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, Sableye just has a lot of power and a little bit of trickery on that team with the Sinistcha. That Matcha Gotcha, the Trick Room that can use as well, very potent. And I would say is really interesting to see at the Series 1 version of Scarlet and Violet. Anyways, he's actually going to be leading with the Sinistcha as well as the Goldengo. Meanwhile, as we know, Kevin's going to be leading with the Oranguru and the Mousehold. So looking at here, look at these moves here. We've got Psychic, Instruct, Trick Room, and Encore on the Oranguru's side. I didn't have enough time to go and think about the Mouseholds, but we've got some good stuff on the Mousehold as well, I'm sure. Now, here's the problem, though. A lot of Mousehold kind of requires... he's going to taunt the Sinistcha. Hold on. So I wonder what that's going to be doing here. It turns out absolutely nothing, because Sinistra's going to shake off the taunt. Goldengo's going to go for the Nasty Plot. So, wow, look at that right off the bat. So far, it looks like Sableye has a strong lead on Kevin just right at the beginning here. Oranguru going to set up the Trick Room, which does help the Oranguru, does not necessarily help the Mousehold just yet. Now, I suppose he could instruct Mousehold to go for another taunt and go first, but I do think that the Mousehold has kind of outlived its usefulness. at least for the beginning of this game. Meanwhile, the Golden Go sitting at +2, the Sinistcha sitting at full health, able to do quite a bit at the beginning of this. Oranguru is actually going to Encore, locking the Sinistcha into Matcha Gotcha. Ooh, no, there it goes. Yeah. So the Golden Go going to make it rain, drops its special attack by 1. Now it's sitting at a +1 special attack. Let's keep that in mind. The Maushold is going to go away, and the Sinistcha is going to Matcha Gotcha because it's been instructed to. And the Oranguru is going to not take that spread damage anymore. It is going to take Matcha Gotcha as a single type hit, or as a single Pokemon hit. Meanwhile, Ursaluna is going to come out, and now that Trick Room is really going to come into effect, because the Ursaluna, being quite slow, can now go for some big hits with maybe Hyper Voice, with maybe Blood Moon, with maybe some kind of ground move. Earth Power, there it is. Or can Protect. You know, I'm not your dad. Oranguru going to instruct the Ursaluna, and Ursaluna going to consider, Terastallization. Are we actually going to go for the Hyper Voice? That could be huge against both of those Pokemon. Looks like he's locked that in, so let's see just how much damage an Instruct Hyper Voice that's terastallized on a Blood Moon Ursaluna can actually do. My guess, quite a bit. Quite a bit. And he's going to actually have to do quite a bit because of the Golden Go. It's not going to do a ton of damage if it does manage to hit here. But it looks like it's not going to, as Sableye, wanting to protect the Golden Go, does go for a Protect. So, ting, hits the Protect there, but the Hyper Voice is going to hit the Sinistcha. Here it goes. Sinistcha takes, about 80% damage here. And at this point, Oranguru, being just a little bit faster, can go for a Instruct on Ursaluna. One more time, ting, hits the Protect. But boom, Ursaluna going for that terastallized normal Hyper Voice, taking out the Sinistcha. What a solid move from Kevin there. Good job, buddy. Appreciate that. Make my feeling of working with you good. I don't know, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. Doesn't matter. So at this point, the Golden Go is still sitting in a little bit of trouble because the Trick Room is still in full effect. We know what the speed tiers are going to be, right? The Ursaluna is going to go first. The Oranguru is going to go after that. Kevin could theoretically just go for the same thing over and over and over for as long as Trick Room is active. What a scary situation. Now, again, you remember how I mentioned at the very beginning how, he's going to eat a little berry. That might actually save the Annihilate from Annihilation. But you know how I said at the very beginning how the normal and ghost interaction is interesting between these two guys so that you can't use normal attacks against the ghost? Well, the Ursaluna having Mind's Eye does mean that the Hyper Voice is going to go off. That berry was huge for Annihilate. What a good, yummy citrus berry that guy just ate. It actually was enough to keep both of the team alive for just enough time for the Golden Go to use a Make It Rain, a +1 Make It Rain on the Oranguru and the Ursaluna, to getting a double KO. If I was the Pokemon Company, I would do, it's a one-hit knockout. I'd put that big thing. Have you ever seen that? No, it's a one-hit knockout on both of those Pokemon. Now, of course, it wasn't a one-hit knockout. They were both damaged a little bit, right? Doesn't matter. Right now, it's just Snorlax against the Golden Go and the Annihilate, and it's a very scary situation for Kevin, because you know what? Normal and Ghost can't hit each other, but Annihilate can sure hit Snorlax with the Drain Punch. I'm sure he doesn't want that. Now, the one thing that he does have going for him, though, is that he is I believe Snorlax is a little bit slower than your average Golden Go and Annihilate. So unless you see the Annihilate going before the Snorlax here, which I'm not sure is going to happen. Oh, they're actually both going to protect. He's trying to get out of Trick Room. Because you know what? Sableye, he probably knows those speed tiers way better than I do. And Kevin, knowing that, is going to go for the Hail Mary Belly Drum. Oh no, that means that the Snorlax is a full +6 attack. Twisted Dimensions are going to return though, so let's see if that's too little too late for Kevin, or if that's just what he needed to do on that last turn of Trick Room here. It all really comes down on who's faster than whom, and personally, I don't know. The Cust-Up Berry. Wait a minute, that's faster than normal. Sableye's going to withdraw the Annihilate and going to instead send out the Mimikyu, which does mean that, the Mimikyu is going to get the disguise broken. Snorlax is going to go for the Earthquake, knocking out the Golden Go, breaking the disguise on the Mimikyu. And now it's just Mimikyu and Annihilate versus the Snorlax. What a solid pick to put the Cust-Up Berry on that Snorlax there. Of course, that does kind of act as a Quick Claw, a one-turn Quick Claw, where it can attack faster than normal. Now, however, that effect does not persist through this turn, so again, we're going to have to see if the Snorlax is faster than the Annihilate, if the Mimikyu can hit a Play Rough, which it cannot. If the Snorlax could live this, then maybe, just maybe, there would have been a little bit of hope in victory there, but too little too late. Unfortunately, the Snorlax does go down to a Drain Punch, and Sableye ends game 1 with a very decisive, should we call it decisive, kind of win? Who knows? But either way, that was such a solid game 1, and it really, again, it proves that, Normal and Ghost, they can still fight each other. They can still do something, right? So we're going to go right into game 2. We're going to see what each person has in store for us. Brain stopped, doesn't matter. Let's go. All right, here we go with game 2. Kevin, thinking about what happened in that last game, he's probably trying to ask himself, what was my weak link here? What can I change to do better against this team here? Now, Sableye has no reason really to change up his leads. He has no reason really to change up his Pokemon because he saw what they could do, right? He still ended up, having 2 of his Pokemon left over. It was, not a complete decisive victory, but it was a victory nonetheless. So the question is Sableye going to be changing up his leads? Is he going to be changing up his 4? Or is he just going to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? That's kind of the question in any best of 3. Game 2 is always a chance where you can see if your opponent wants to make any kind of changes, if they want to make any kind of tweaks, or if they just want to try and run it back. Anyway, we're going to see right here in game 2. Again, there's a little bit of time before the game starts, so if you haven't yet, please do go and like the video and subscribe if you haven't made it there already. Now look at this. Here comes the Sinistcha and Golden Go yet again. And Kevin going for the Snorlax and Mousehold. The big cat? Is Snorlax a cat? I think Snorlax would be a big cat. And Mousehold here. Kevin did make the mistake of putting Snorlax on the right, so we're only going to be seeing a little bit of this game. But that's okay. That's what we have me here for. Mousehold's going to go for the U-turn. Going to hit the Sinistcha for just a little bitty damage. And he's going to swap that on out. Now he's going to bring in the Ursaluna, or is he going to bring in the Oranguru? He did go for the same 4 Pokemon, just kind of making slight changes here. Now going for the U-turn there is actually really smart, because you can see if your opponent is going to swap their Pokemon first turn, if they're going to react to your change in a different way. Sableye opting not to do that, just going for the nasty plot, bringing up the +2. Matcha Gotcha going to hit just like it did the last time, but this time not hitting a Mousehold and a Oranguru. This time hitting a Snorlax and an Oranguru. Is the Snorlax going to go for, yes it is, it's going to go for that belly drum, and now we're in a very interesting situation because we've got a +6 Snorlax and an Oranguru against a +2 Golden Go and a Sinistcha. Is that enough health for Kevin to go and set up a Trick Room? Does Snorlax need to protect? Can it protect? Those are the questions that I have going through my head. Oh, he is going to use that Cust-Up Berry. Oh, yet again, the Cust-Up Berry helping out the situation, but Golden Go going for the Protect. Let's see if that actually helps out. Snorlax going for the Earthquake is, I believe, not going to hit the It is going to hit the Oranguru. Oh no, did it not have that one ability? You're screaming it at me. You know what I'm talking about. It doesn't have the one. But it did knock out the Oranguru, so now what's Kevin gonna do? He's gonna bring in the Ursaluna. This is not my favorite thing to do while commentating, but I do need to look that up. Telepathy. Yeah. telepathy was not used on the Oranguru here. It might have been inner focus so that it wouldn't get flinched. Wouldn't be symbiosis. I would hope not. Anyway, now it's just the Ursaluna and the very angry looking Snorlax. That Snorlax is like hunched forward. He's ready to fight. He's ready to scrap. But it does look like Sableye has a pretty commanding lead on this. Let's see if Kevin can bring it back. Looks like we've got a terrestrialization on our hands here, folks. It's going to be on the Snorlax. It's going to be the ground type. Ground type Snorlax for the Earthquakes. That's quite interesting. I like this. I like this a lot. Now, does that actually protect... Oh, wait. I said ground. This is rock type. Oh my gosh! This is rock type that does KO the Sinistcha, gives it that little bit of extra power that it needs. Now again, this Snorlax was at +6. So, question is, was it necessary? Might have been. The Ursaluna going for the Earth Power, knocking out that Golden Go, that +1 Golden Go that was very, very threatening in both Game 1 and here in Game 2. Let's see, actually, Kevin has kind of taken over. Especially now that the Trick Room is up and the Ursaluna is out. Sableye may have, I don't want to say dug his own grave by using Trick Room, but he definitely did give Kevin something that he needed. So Ursaluna looking to use a Hyper Voice on the two of them. That will break the Mimikyu's disguise in time for the Snorlax to go and use a Tera Rock Slide. So let's see how much damage this will do. I love that the Snorlax is hunched forward. He's like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna slide these rocks right out to your face. Mimikyu is going to terrestrialize into Fairy type. Just kind of giving him that extra power that the Play Rough needs, as long as the Play Rough can hit. Annihilate protecting, but these Pokemon are inching to use spread moves here, so not necessarily targeting the Annihilate. Is gonna miss the Mimikyu because, as we've forgotten, this is Kevin, so he doesn't tend to hit those. So Annihilate protects itself. Mimikyu takes that damage from the disguise. The disguise is going to break. And he takes a little bit of damage from that. But Ursaluna also going to take a little bit of damage. The Mimikyu, this time the Play Rough does hit. The Snorlax lifts up its head. It says, uh-oh. And the Play Rough goes and takes it down. So Kevin has lost his terrestrialized Pokemon, rock, head, and all. It's not a ground terrestrialization. I don't know why I said it. I do know why I said it, because they're very close to each other to me. Gonna bring in the Mousehold. Again, in Trick Room, this Mousehold is kind of speedy. We're kind of seeing both ends of the speeds here, right? The Ursaluna is able to go for an attack here first, but the Mousehold is likely going to be last in the speeds here. So he's got to consider what to do. Decides to go for a Follow Me just so the Mousehold can act first. Does also save the Ursaluna for next turn as well, but Ursaluna goes and uses that Blood Moon on Mimikyu, taking it right out. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, that being an Annihilate, we're pretty confident on what that thing's going to use, am I right? Oh, but it was a bulk up. It indeed was not what we thought it was going to do. It was not going to Drain Punch either one of those guys. It was going to bulk up. We're still in Trick Room here. We can do one more thing. We're in Trick Room for, I believe, one more turn. I was kind of thinking that the Annihilate was going to go for a Protect here, but it doesn't look like it. The Ursaluna is just going to go for a Hyper Voice on the Annihilate. That's not going to be close to enough. But we're going to need to see some more damage on this Annihilate if we want to take that out in 2 hits, especially if this guy goes for a Drain Punch right now on the Mousehold, which he does, bringing it down to 25 HP, which is huge for Kevin. Now Kevin can go for another Follow Me, just to keep that Ursaluna alive for one more turn. Now, does it want to... Oh, he actually is going for a Protect here. A Protect into something else from the Mousehold. Is he going to try and get a little bit more damage off? Is he going to try and taunt the bulk up, make sure that it doesn't do another one of those? Is it going to protect itself? This is such great... Thank you for the commentary here. Choosing each one so that I can explain it. The Mousehold deciding to protect, both Pokemon deciding to protect, so that they can keep themselves alive for one more turn. The Annihilate deciding to go for the Drain Punch on the Ursaluna. Kevin has seen what the Annihilate wants to do. Now, how can he capitalize on that? Yeah, the only real idea that Kevin has here is to go for the Blood Moon, go for as much damage as he can on this Annihilate. Now, of course, the Blood Moon does do more damage than the Hyper Voice, but not by double, which is kind of what he needs. Mousehold is going to use Follow Me here. Mousehold being at 25 HP does make things quite nice for this upcoming Drain Punch, being that the Drain Punch won't actually recover that much more HP, not like it would because the Annihilate is sitting at full HP right now anyway. So Ursaluna gonna go for the Blood Moon. It does not, as we suspected, does not do double the damage, but so close. So really, if Ursaluna can survive this next hit, which I think we've been in this situation before, then you would have been able to take out the Annihilate, but not so. Looks like the Drain Punch is going to take out the Ursaluna just barely. And Sableye is going to walk away with a 2-0 victory in this Malamar Games. What an interesting battle this was, right? Seeing that normal versus ghost, seeing the Ursaluna do so much damage to everything, but just seeing that Annihilate, its natural predator for some reason, just take it out with Drain Punch after Drain Punch after Drain Punch. Seeing that 2 times in a row, that was quite scary. But not for me. For me, I found that quite entertaining, and I hope you did too. And if you did, please go and hit the like button down below. Please go and subscribe to Pokesports if you haven't already. Go and check out Sableye. Sableye is such a great player of this game, and a fellow Canadian as well. That's why Kevin made me do this. I bet that's why. In two parts, right? One, because he lost and he was like, I don't want to talk about it. You talk about it. And then secondly, because, Canadian. Da 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 da. Why? No. Da 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 is what I should have done, but the brain wants what the brain wants, and when I'm commentating, I just kind of go with the flow. That's me. Anyway, if you want to go with the flow again, flow on down to the comment section, and what a good transition. What a good segue. Speaking of segues, I'm gonna roll on out of here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm also going to be back tomorrow and for the next couple of days because again, Kevin got his Wisdom TVs out, so he's got to recover. See you tomorrow.